Boomer, up. Up. Away. Come on. Come on. Alright guys, we've got the campfire going. That was super simple to light, and like I said, I'm going to be keeping it very small. It is positioned on this big piece of exposed rock, and the rocks around it are preventing any fire from rolling down this hill. This is all soil, and underneath the soil again is that continuation of that bedrock underneath this log and my feet. So pretty safe as far as fire goes. I've got a lake just off to the side too, so later on this evening I'll dose it out with water just to make sure everything's fine. The wind's not too bad right now, but anything can happen, right? So we're gonna keep it low and slow and just kind of toss on some hardwood, some softwood, just keep a very close eye on it. So there's a load of heat coming right into me though. Very enjoyable. I've got a vanilla porter for this camping trip. Very good, actually, I gotta say. It pairs very well with that steak that I cooked. So what I did is a steak with red pepper, leeks, and white onion in a frying pan. Cooked that all up, awesome. Boomer had a whole steak to himself. I cooked after I ate. Plus he had all of his dog food and a whole bunch of water. So he is back here right now sniffing at steak juices in the leaves. He's full, he's also tired out. He was just laying over here on this bedrock area where it's nice and warm from the sun. Plus the heat's rolling over there. So I bet he's probably gonna make that his bed before he crawls inside of the tent. All in all, we're basically going to sit back here and enjoy this campfire until it gets super dark and basically make our way inside of the tent. So let's enjoy this. Alright guys, just chilling out next to the campfire, and light is fading really quickly. Before it gets too dark and before I forget in the morning, I want to run you guys through my setup and the reason why I do some things certain ways. So as you guys will notice, the tent is on a little bit of a downward slope. I've got my head up at this end to mitigate that. This area is full of exposed roots and rocks, and there's really not a whole lot of locations to pitch a tent of this footprint. If I brought a one-person tent, I could squeak it in some of these roots in between them. This being a two-person tent, it is a little bit larger. So this is the 3FUL Tai Chi 2. It is in tan. It's the 4-season version where the mesh does come up quite high, or the taffeta material, sorry, and then the mesh is at the very top. That helps with wind coming in underneath it during the winter season to keep the blowing snow out, because sometimes blowing snow does come through this no-seam mesh on the summer model, the 3-season model. So speaking about seasons, I brought my Nemo sleeping bag. This thing is monstrous, and sure enough, I grab a hold of it, and look who comes over. Hilarious. This is the Nemo Sonic. This is a long version, so it's not the regular, so it's a little bit longer. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is 800 fill power, negative 29 degrees Celsius sleeping bag. This is for winter, Arctic winter. Big, puffy, beautiful sleeping bag. I love this thing. Now the reason why I brought a massive winter sleeping bag is because I like to comfortable sleep. I don't like to be bound up like a mummy if I don't have to be. This particular sleeping bag actually has these gills or these vents in it that thins the material. There are two of them that run about a foot and a half long, and that really does let out quite a bit of heat in the shoulder seasons. So the reason why I decided to buy the long version bag. Is very interesting. I am only about 5'7", 5'8". This is, I believe, about a 6'2". So the reason why I go a little bit longer is I like that empty space at the bottom of the sleeping bag. The reason is, for me, I need room to store my camera gear. So when I'm out in the dead of winter, and this thing has a massive foot box, like huge, I like to put my camera gear down on my foot end. That way it stays toasty warm, and I'm not compressing the down in a regular size sleeping bag. Also, Boomer sleeps on my chest, kind of like in between my legs a little bit, so that gives us a little bit more room to pull the foot box up to get a little bit more down around our torso area if needed. So I also do not bring the stuff sack for the sleeping bag. I jam it down in my backpack. The reason why I do that is because it fills every little void that is available, and then it lofts up, giving the bag a nice form factor. It's not flopping all over my back. When you put them in a stuff sack, you're basically defining a shape. So now that shape has to fit into one spot. If you leave it out of the stuff sack, it can conform into every little nook and cranny. So that's the reason why I do that. I'm also rocking today the Thermarest NeoAir X-Therm pad. That's the X-Therm Max, so it's a rectangle. Really high R value. Those two pieces of gear will get me minus 25, minus 30 on a frozen lake bed, no problem. So those two things are massive overkill, but I'm going to sleep comfortable tonight. I'm most likely going to unzip the sleeping bag and use it like a top quilt, to be totally honest. The backpack. So this is the Alps Mountaineering Nomad. This is a 45 to 60 liter backpack. And the reason why I use this all year round is because it's a roll top backpack, meaning it's variable size. So often when we come out camping, your backpack is typically larger when you leave home and a little bit smaller when you come home, because you're going to eat food, use gear, whatnot. So this backpack, paired with my method of not using a stuff sack, the sleeping bag will always fill the bag. So if you come out here with a 50 liter pack and you go home with like 40 liters worth of gear because you've eaten food or compressed certain things or whatever, your backpack's going to be floppy. There's not going to be any form to it. By doing the backpack with the sleeping bag method, it's always full. So I could really roll that down. If I'm doing a hammock trip, I can roll that down to 40 liters. If I'm doing a hot tent trip, I can roll it down to 60 liters. It's a variable size backpack, so that's the reason why I love using that. The Trangia cook set, I've been using this a lot. This is the Trangia 27, I believe. 2 pots and a frying pan anodized with a non-stick coating, so I can cook steak in it. It's not going to stick or anything like that. And I didn't want to go with direct aluminum because health concerns, obviously. Spoons and forks, I always bring titanium. So these are actually GSI Outdoors. These things are massively thick and they're super light. So I have thinner versions from different companies that are actually heavier than these. So this titanium is like pure titanium. Very, very light, thick, strong. I like that. It's not going to rust or anything. So that's the main reason why I bring this cook set too in the wintertime. It doesn't rust. It doesn't corrode. Titanium has so many properties to it. Just huge list. So I love bringing that. As far as other gear go, I've got my light that I'm going to be putting up there very shortly. I've got my Boreal 24, my Agua saw. I have my Halt Faders 20-inch small forest axe. That's what I use. And my knife, I've got this. This is from BPS. Yeah, BPS Knives. And this is the knife that is designed by DBK. It's very hard for me to read right now. This thing is incredible for a small knife. I can baton with it. I can cook with it. I can do anything I need with it. And it comes paired with the fire steel as well. That's how my preferred method of lighting fire. Other than that, headlamp. I brought my Syansky headlamp. I'm not sure of the model. This is the Syansky HS6R. This thing's incredible. Spot, flood, high flood, medium flood, red strobe, all kinds of modes on that. Battery bank for charging my various items. This is the Nightcore 10,000 milliamp hour, 38.5 watts. This thing's awesome because it's super thin, and it's got like this this really interesting design on it. It's pretty sweet. So this is the Nightcore Energy Brick NB10000. Highly expensive for how small it is, but worth it. 10,000 milliamp hours. Can't go wrong with that. And then my other gear, just cook set stuff, just pretty basic stuff. But the reason why I decided to bring this tent was I was anticipating rain. And being a lightweight tent, this has the spreader pole up here where the rain doesn't come in the floor. And there's enough room on both sides of the vestibule that I can actually cook inside of there. If you guys caught my trip in Newfoundland about 2 years ago, I actually had this tent in green, a 3-season model. And I was cooking inside and accidentally shook the canister stove and it flamed up and totally burnt a hole in the mesh. That does not happen with the Trangia. If you guys remember that video, please forget it. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. For clothing, I'm rocking a North Face long sleeve shirt, Fjallraven Keb. These are the G1000s. I love these pants. I also brought my ultralight synthetic this is the North Face camo jacket, hoodless, because I got my hoodie here. I also have my rain jacket, which I've actually placed underneath of my sleeping pad just to protect the pad from a lot of the pokies and sticks that are under there. I'm not going to need it. I don't think. It's not raining, so we'll see, but it's there. Other than that, I mean, that campfire's calling my name. I just wanted to show you guys some gear before it gets too dark, so back to the campfire, and hopefully it'll be dark soon. We'll be able to get this tent lit up and glowing nicely. I love that glow in the middle of the night campfire, glowing tent, just awesome. So back to the campfire. Alright guys, nightfall is finally here. We've got the fire stoked up, super warm. Boomer is just cuddled right into me. Trying to get inside the tent, but it's not tent time yet. So we're going to soak in the warmth from this fire. We've got probably, I don't know, half of our firewood left. I've got a couple rounds here behind the log I'll toss on right now. As far as the split wood goes, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably about 7 pieces left of the split wood. So toss these rounds on, and it's burning really great, guys. It's actually not spitting a whole lot of embers. The wind has totally died down. Like, check this out. No wind. Clouds are rolling in. There's no stars out. It is quite dark right now. So, yeah, I think it will cool down later this evening. I'm like, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we get that rain tonight and early morning. I would be really happy with that. But for tonight, everything's going pretty well. The tent's lit up nicely. Campfire's going. All the tools and everything still need to be cleaned up, but everything else is all packed away and ready for nightfall. So I do have a headlamp in there. I'm going to get out briefly just to do once over of the camp, just to make sure everything's tucked away. One thing I do always make sure of is Boomer's food dish. So he's got a little bit of snacks here. I don't think he's hungry. He might eat a little bit. But I never leave dog food out, ever. The biggest thing in my area are squirrels. So squirrels, I shouldn't say the biggest thing. The biggest thing in my area is moose. But the biggest problem of any animal are squirrels, believe it or not. They will tear a hole in the side of your tent. They will chew through your backpack. They will go crazy over food. So dog food is something that I always put back inside of a Ziploc bag, and I jam any food items or wrappers that I have in the tent underneath my sleeping pad when I'm either A, done, or B, not going to use it for the rest of the night, just to hide the scent as much as possible. I've been doing that for years. Yes, I sleep with food in my tent. Yes, I cook in my tent. Yes, I've got bears. Yes, I've got coyotes in the area. Never been bothered, ever, except for squirrels. Squirrels are crazy, most of them. So I'm going to chill out here. Boomer's going on a little walkabout again. It's getting quite dark, so I do have to keep an eye on him. He's got his orange hoodie on. The only fear that I have for him is owls. In this area, there are a few owls known to kind of roost in these trees, so head on a swivel. He's got his bright orange sweater on, and the campfire usually keeps pretty much all predators away, but still going to keep a close eye on him. This will burn out pretty quick, I imagine, probably another hour out here, and then I'll be inside of the tent. So I'm just going to kick back, relax. This is super relaxing, I gotta say. Coming out of winter, being able to stretch out on the ground just like this and not be in the snow or in the wet or that cold chill in the back of your neck, you know what I mean? It's nice. I'm not a summer guy, I'm a fall and spring kind of guy, so this right now is a little bit of a sad time for me. But the songbirds are out. So this is a bit of a sad time for me because we're coming into summer, which I don't like. Too hot, too muggy, just not my vibe. So I'll be somewhere where it's a little cooler, like on the beach, on the coast, highlands, up in the mountains, somewheres. But right now, I gotta say, this vibe, I can mess with this for a little bit. So, gonna kick back, enjoy this campfire, like I said, let the stuff burn out, and then I'll meet you guys inside the tent. Alright guys, it is total darkness out here and our campfire is just about burned out, so Boomer is itching to get inside the tent. A couple things I gotta do right now. Try not to look at the camera because I don't want my headlight flashing in the lens, but a couple things I gotta do right now. One, I gotta get his booties on here. His little tent slippers so his nails don't puncture my sleeping pad. And two, I've got to get his sweater off because it's filthy dirty and leaf litter. Three, I've got to do a tick check because last camping trip we went out, he came home with 2 wood ticks. One I found on him right away on his nose, and the second one I found again on his nose the next morning after sleeping at home, and yeah. So Going to be doing a very thorough tick check this evening. Now, I did get him drops. So he has flea and tick drops on right now, and that is a giant spider. Please get away from the entrance of my tent. Distracted. Priorities, right? Big old spider. I do not want that inside of there. So yeah, he's got tick drops on him right now, and that seems to be doing really well, actually, because I'm in the same vicinity as where I camped last time. So the ticks are obviously in the area. And so far, so good. I don't see any ticks on him. I've looked under his sweater, and I haven't seen anything. I've checked his ears, I've checked his toes, checked everything. So I'm going to give him a really good look over, as well as myself. But I think we're pretty good. He's all huddled up in a ball right now because he can't see. I got the headlamp in his face. All right, let me see. Come here, man. All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. There. Oh, it's hilarious. Now let's fix this foot. There. Good? All right. There. When he comes out of his sweater sometimes, he's a little bit loopy. Don't know why. Just is. Especially with those slippers. The slippers really throw him off quite a bit for a few minutes. So I'm going to flip this inside out, just to check for any ticks that may be hiding in here. And I don't see anything. So that's really good, especially the belly area. Okay, so that's good. I'll toss that in here. And I'm going to check him over really, really well. But so far, I've already been looking at him outside and I haven't really seen anything. So those drops must really be doing a good job. But I'll check him out once I get inside the tent. I've got to check myself as well. I've got a change of pants inside with socks and stuff. Air pad seems like it's doing pretty well. So going from daytime temperatures to nighttime temperatures, you will get contraction on the air because it's filled with warm air. Now it's cold, so the air is colder. So it'll lose pressure. So I may have to put maybe a half a pump sack in there just to give it full rigidity. But other than that, I think I'm ready to climb in. So I'm going to get the door zipped shut, check on the campfire, make sure everything around is squared away, jump in, and then do a thorough check of myself as I'm getting undressed. And then get some base layers on and get nice and cozy. All right, just climbing inside of the tent right now, getting my shoes off. Oh, feels good to get those off for sure. Whew. So it's a little frosty outside, not gonna lie, guys. It's a weird mixed bag of weather today. So driving on the highway. Okay, first of all, waking up this morning, misty, rainy, cloudy, beautiful, beautiful. I was super excited to come out. Got on the highway, started driving, snow. Getting really excited now. Get to the trailhead, get out, get everything ready. Boots tied up and sunshine. Not so happy. So, Nova Scotia in the spring is a mixed bag of just nonsense. Sometimes we get rainy weeks, sometimes we get sunny weeks. Sometimes we get sunny weeks and then bam, snow overnight, 2 inches, 3 inches, and then gone the next day. And then it's like summer. So yeah, it's very, very strange. So hopefully, like I was saying earlier, hopefully tonight we do get some cloud cover. I'm looking out of the tent. I got the door cracked open right now. I can still see stars, so it's cleared up a little bit. I don't know what that's going to bring for morning and nighttime. Last time I was out, it actually did rain overnight and cloud cover, so hopefully we get lucky and we get some more cloud cover and rain. I find nice weather camps really boring. just me, I don't know. Let me know if you agree. But I would like some cloud cover and a little bit of drizzle, maybe a mist, maybe a heavy rain overnight, you know, something fun, something interesting. So all I know is this is going to be a incredibly comfortable sleep tonight. Unzip the bag. I've got my base layers in here, new change of socks. I'm going to get dressed and I'll catch up with you guys in just a moment. Whew. All right, so changed into some base layers. I'm going to keep my hoodie on for now because I'm not actually wrapped up in the sleeping bag. I'm just going to be draping it over top of me like that. So also, I'm pushed off to this far side of the tent. When it gets later in the evening, like when I'm not watching movies, I'm actually going to move into the center of the tent. But right now, what I like to do with my little foam sit pad is leave it here. I do sleep with my shoes up at this end, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's going to be gross. They stink. Well, you're not wrong. But the reason why I keep them up here, multiple reasons. One, I keep my knife, should unsnap that, in my shoe. Quick draw. Just like that, along with my phone, which isn't doing me any good because I have zero reception out here. I'm going to be using it offline for Netflix. I have downloaded movies. I also keep my headlamp right there, and my shoes themselves are right there. So I like keeping that stuff there, just quick access. I can reach, I can grab, everything's there. I know where it is, just muscle memory. I also have my axe inside of the tent. So I do not have my saw in here because it's kind of useless for self-defense, but I do bring my axe inside just in case. Not only that, if there are people, I mean, I'm way out here in the middle of nowhere, but if you're in an area where there may be a trail or something, if someone does come around and maybe they don't have a weapon to mess with you, and they happen to see an axe sitting outside and they go, geez, that looks pretty useful. It's not fun when your weapons are used against you. Not that I would know, I'm just speculating, you know. It probably wouldn't be fun or enjoyable. So I like keeping all my stuff in the tent where I can reach them, not where someone else can reach them. So, other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. Boomer's down there. You want to come up? Come on. Come. He's got his boots on right now, so he's having a little hard time walking. Come on. There he goes. Right down to the feet. Yep. He's like a sleeping bag troll. He'll go right down to my feet, spin, and there's his beard. I don't know if that's picking up in camera. Come on. There he is. He'll sleep like that. Literally his face right here on my belly, tucked in, and this will be over top. He never loses oxygen, which is strange. You would think that he'd suffocate. He just comes up for air and then goes back down. I don't know. He's giving me that look like, don't fart in the sleeping bag. So that's probably enough talk for this evening. I'm going to get this light shut off, or at least dimmed down really low. I do have one mosquito in here. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. It's still cold enough that the mosquitoes aren't really in full effect. But I do have a movie saved. I'm going to be watching Justice League this evening on my phone. I got that saved. There he goes, getting too warm. Perfect. Yeah, so good night, guys. I'll catch up with you first thing in the morning for coffee, unless something else happens this evening. See you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful, cloudy, crisp and cold and wet morning out here today. It did rain last night. It came in actually quite steady and heavy, but just like the very last camping trip I was on, as soon as I got up to do anything with the camera, it stopped. So sorry about that, but the tent is totally soaking wet. The ground this time is actually still damp and wet, whereas the last trip it was windy, it had time to dry up. So got the rain last night, and honestly listening to that for about 15-20 minutes, I was out, asleep. Didn't even get to finish my movie, just totally out. I woke up this morning to a little bit of a light drizzle on the tent. Boomer was down at the foot end of the tent, just kind of rolling around doing his thing. Off in the distance on the lake, I could hear both loons and geese, which is always an awesome way to wake up when out lake camping. Hot cup of coffee on the go, as always, and this morning is going to be very basic. I've already had a couple snacks in the tent, some beef jerky and trail mix. Not going to be cooking breakfast. This rain looks like it is going to come back, which I planned on when I came out here. So plan on just kind of getting up early. There's a wild squirrel right over here that Boomer's locked onto. Plan on just getting up like I am right now, enjoying coffee, and then do the pack up process before the rain really comes in, because it is looking really ominous in the sky today, which is awesome. I love this feel. I really like days where I come into the woods and it looks like this, and then it rains the whole time I'm here. And then the next day, if it cracks the sun in the morning, cool. Yeah, it's kind of backwards for me right now. Just looking up at the sky, I really want to stay, but I got things to do, and this video's not going to edit itself out here in the woods, let's face it. So enjoy this coffee. Coming out with a very basic kit again with the Trangia water coffee cup. Super simple. There's not a lot to pack up. I'm going to jam everything inside of the backpack, the tent, give it a good shake off, and jam that in. I'll have to set it up when I get home and dry it out, obviously. But yeah, this is incredible. So cheers, guys. Morning coffee. Alright guys, I've got everything totally packed up, ready to go. All I have to do is throw my jacket on and hit the trail, get the camera packed away so it stays nice and dry, and then I'm out of here. So there's a big dry patch behind me from where the tent was. It is starting to really finely mist with drizzle right now, so I'm gonna get that packed away really quickly and get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the adventure. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and until next time, peace out. I'll see you in the next one.